So the part that's really ugly is the betrayal of friendship.
Welcome back to the Conservative Lion. Hit the like button for me on the way in so I can get the algorithm going. I'm making this video in response to what I watched from Ben Shapiro last week in the, I guess you can say, debacle, the back and forth going on between the Daily Wire and Steven Crowder. Seems like the main two talking heads from that camp that have come out and say something about Steven Crowder is Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. I don't know if Matt Walsh has said anything about it. He probably has. I don't know if Michael Knowles has said anything about it. He probably has. But I doubt if their responses were as significant as Ben Shapiro's or Candace Owens. Candace Owens, I made a little short video, and she said that he made a bitch move. And I don't necessarily agree with the way Steven Crowder handled it by doing the undercover recording. I think that was a little bit unnecessary. If it was me, I probably wouldn't have done that. But all we can do is just respond to what they did, because none of us are in Steven Crowder's position. Most of us will never see the type of money that Steven Crowder has seen. Most of us will never be worth the type of money that Steven Crowder's worth. Not saying that none of us will, but most of us won't. I mean, dude is really talented. I've been watching him for years. I like him. Like I said, I like everybody at the Daily Wire that speaks on camera, except for Ben Shapiro. I used to watch Ben Shapiro sporadically, but I was never a real solid fan. It's just something about him that just never sit well with me. And I think he's taking this thing with Steven Crowder a lot more personal. I really, really do. Candace Owens, you pretty much know what you're going to get from Candace Owens. I believe that she did exactly what Candace Owens is expected to do. She's just an attack dog. But Ben Shapiro, you can tell from his whole response video that he was deeply hurt by Steven Crowder.
Well, folks, I'm sure many of you have seen the controversy that has broken out between, I would say, our former friend Steven Crowder and those of us here at the Daily Wire.
Either this has to stop, or I'm going to have to stop.
And it makes me sick to my stomach. I know that my business partner, Jeremy Boring, has made him sick to his stomach as well, because we had always considered Steven a friend. I was Steven's first lawyer. I helped negotiate his contract with Fox News, going all the way back. It's got to be at least over a decade. And Steven and I had always been very friendly. I know Jeremy was even friendlier with Steven, had counseled him in very rough times. I had personally attempted to intervene when Steven was demonetized in June 2019 on YouTube. I actually sounded off so loudly that the people at YouTube reached out to me, and Susan Wojcicki, the head of YouTube, got on the phone with me, and I reamed her out over demonetizing Steven. And I hope it made a difference. Look, I think that Steven is an incredibly talented comedian. I also think that what he is doing to my friend Jeremy Boring right now is one of the most disgusting things I have ever seen in politics. It really is one of the ugliest things I've ever seen.
So yeah, that's just a little snippet of Ben Shapiro's response to Steven Crowder and the way he handled the Daily Wire contract negotiation that didn't go anywhere. Steven Crowder's too big to fail, in my opinion. He has a huge following. He's going to be fine. I'm not worried about him. I think he's going to figure it out. I don't know exactly what he's going to do, because I know he's leaving the Blaze and he didn't work out with the Daily Wire. But Crowder will figure it out. I know he will figure it out. But this battle between them has only added gasoline to the flames of the whole war between what people call Conservative Inc., Big Con, versus us regular folks who are actually conservative. And me personally, I think people like Ben Shapiro are problematic. I was taught as a child to judge a tree by its fruit. And there are just so many receipts about this guy, Ben Shapiro. I mean, he was a never Trumper. He is somebody who is a complete shield for Israel. He supports America blowing up every enemy of Israel, no matter what, sending our soldiers to die for these meaningless wars. Most wars that we fought were unnecessary. If it wasn't the Civil War or the American Revolutionary War or World War I or World War II, no other war was really that necessary in my opinion. And I think most true patriotic Americans can agree with that. And I come from a military family. Lots of the men in my family, except for me, were in the Navy. I chose to go to college, but stupid me should have went. That's another story for another day. But anyway, I think that Ben Shapiro is Israel first, not America first. If you know, you know. If you don't, do your research. He was quick to promote the jab. We know President Trump promoted the jab, but I just don't think that an intelligent, objectionable thinking person should be supporting a concoction that was rushed together. I don't care if it was up under a Republican president or not. Right is right, wrong is wrong. They were mandating it. Now people are just dropping dead. That's another conversation for another video. But yeah, it's just been so many things that this guy has said over the years that I deem is very problematic.
We were lied to by the scientists. We were lied to by Pfizer. We were lied to by the government. We were lied to by the Biden administration. We were lied to. I don't like being lied to. I don't know about you. And it makes me not believe these people. Now, as I've spoken out before, I got vaxxed twice, or I'm double vaxxed. My wife, being a doctor and seeing vulnerable patients, is triple vaxxed. But knowing now what I know then, knowing then what I know now, rather, would I have actually gotten vaxxed based on the information that my actual chances of death from COVID were exorbitantly low, and I wouldn't be preventing my parents from getting it? That was really what I was concerned about, because we were bubbled with my parents. Would I have gotten it? I don't know. I really don't know. I think maybe not. Because again, my personal risk when it comes to the vaccine was extremely low when it came to COVID. I'm a young, healthy male with no pre-existing conditions.
I never liked this guy the way that I like Matt Walsh and Candace Owens and Michael Knowles from the Daily Wire. Never really grew on me like that. If you had to take the vaccine because your job threatened you, that's something totally different. My heart goes out to you. I never even had a COVID test. I regretted ever putting a mask on, but you know, I had to buy groceries. I had to take a couple of flights during the height of COVID, so I did put a mask on, but never seen a COVID needle, and I never will. I will not comply. And by the grace of God, I work for myself. I have a landscaping business that I've been doing for 15 years, so I was able to walk away without being forced to do it. But my heart goes out to everybody who had to take the juice against their will. Don't take it again. I don't like how he is willing to cancel people if he deems them as anti-Semitic. Now, I think that some of the things that Kanye West said were obviously inflammatory towards the Jewish community, but if you're a conservative and you run a conservative platform, shouldn't you be willing to let people speak that disagree with you? I'm a black man. I'll sit down and have a conversation with an open white supremacist. As long as he gonna be respectful, I can have a conversation with anybody. That don't mean I'm gonna like the white supremacist or agree with him or go have a beer with him, but I'll have a conversation with anybody. I'll have a conversation with anybody. I believe in freedom of speech. I believe in letting people talk so you know who you're dealing with.
One, Kanye West, he is a Jew hater. Pretty obviously, there is no way to avoid that conclusion. The stuff that he's been ranting and raving over the past several weeks demonstrates that he doesn't just hate specific Jews, he hates the Jews. The Jews are the problem, according to Kanye West. He has been spewing Der Stürmer, Nazi-esque anti-Semitism for weeks, and last night on Alex Jones's show, he made that perfectly clear. So that is true. It is also true that Kanye West is a person with bipolar disorder, and this is a person in the middle of a manic episode.
So yeah, those are just a few things that have come out of Ben Shapiro's mouth over the years that I have deemed as problematic. There's a whole lot more if you just do your research. As we know by now, we shouldn't just follow people and support people just because they call themselves conservative. Just because they have the letter R beside their name does not mean that they're on our side, because we've seen that they work with the Democrats behind closed doors and stab us in the back all the time, especially at the federal level. We all know it's true. Keep your eyes on the prize. Don't let the back and forth between Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire, keep you distracted, because we know what's at stake here. We know the shape of our nation right now. We know that the Biden administration is total trash. We know that Trump was stabbed in the back by members of his own party. We know that the 2020 election was full of fraud. We know that the Fauci juice is killing people. We know that we've been fighting wars for generation after generation that we had no business fighting. The list goes on. If you know, you know. If you don't, do the research. Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, Anthony Fauci are running buck wild, and ain't nothing happened to them yet. That's the real tragedy. We're fighting amongst each other, conservative against conservative, black against white, LGBT, all this divisive stuff going on, and the devils are running wild, buck wild, and ain't nobody doing nothing to stop them. So you can support whoever you want in the Daily Wire versus Steven Crowder, feud or whatever. It'll die down and we'll move on to something else. I don't have a dog in the fight. Like I said, I like Steven Crowder and most of the crew members of the Daily Wire. But keep your eyes on the prize. We need to get our freedom back. They hate strong men in this country, and they hate women that like strong men. But strong men are going to be the only way out of this thing. And they seem to be trying to weaken strong men. But anyway, guys, that's enough of me talking for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember to not give in. Do not submit. Do not quit. See you on the next one.